The greatest Fortnite LAN tournament of all time has just ended. Not just that, but there was a huge announcement of everything we can expect in 2026 when it comes to competitive Fortnite. Not only did Fortnite announce that Duos is the main game mode going into next year, but there will be 4 LAN tournaments. And that's not all, but before I talk about the rest, let's go into each of them in depth. So right before Game 12 of the Global Championship, we were looking at the analyst desk with Kelly, Zeke, Mini Miner, all of them, when suddenly Zeke got a tap on the shoulder and it was the cue cards for the biggest announcement Fortnite has ever announced. Starting us off, 2026 will be a complete year of Duos. Duos is everybody's favorite game mode. It's my favorite game mode. It's my favorite game mode to play, favorite game mode to watch. It's just all around the perfect game mode. After having 3 years in a row of Duos, people were kind of getting bored of it, so they switched it up to Trios, and Trios was refreshing. It felt new, but people were getting sick of it by the end. So personally, I am so happy that Duos is back. To my knowledge, there's only 3 confirmed trios so far. All of them happen to be NA. We have Pete and Pollo running it back again after their dominant 2025. There's Ritual and Cold, the other 2 in the Pete trio, and then lastly, Visuals and Braids. I think no matter what season we're in, what the meta is, Peterbot and Pollo will be a guaranteed favorite to win FNCS. And right behind them with Ritual and Cold, I think they have potential to do very, very well. And Visuals and Braids played together for all of this year and also played all of Duos last year. But next, they announced a mid-season LAN. This is the first time we're ever seeing anything like this, and I am so excited. The reason there's more qualification spots at the end of the year to go to the LAN is because if a team does good at the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, they could be washed. With a mid-season LAN, the players that qualify at the beginning of the year are not going to be as washed by the time it rolls around, and the players that are going to be good at the end of the year are going to be just entering their prime. I think this announcement alone of the mid-season LAN is the biggest announcement Fortnite has ever announced. I'm very excited to see what this is going to look like, and I know you guys are going to be excited because that means that is one of 4 LANs next year. While I am editing this, a thought just popped into my head and I'm calling my shot now. This mid-season LAN will be a mid-season solo LAN. This would be the first solo LAN we've seen since the World Cup back in 2019, and this would be the first big solo tournament since 2021 with the solo all-stars. I am genuinely almost 100% positive that this would be a mid-season solo LAN. I don't know how the qualification will work for it, but I am very excited. Now back to the video. The next announcement is the second of 4 LANs next year, the Reload Elite Series. Reload being a game mode that Fortnite came out with in June of 2024. Ever since it came out, it's been a fan favorite. Reload being a 40-person lobby where you can respawn up into a certain zone, meaning there's constant action because as long as one of your teammates stay alive, you can always come back and keep fighting. We had a sneak peek of what this LAN might look like at the Pro-Am earlier this year. While most people might say the Pro-Am wasn't entertaining, I completely disagree. I think it was very entertaining. It was the most fun I've had watching a Fortnite tournament other than globals that just happened in a long time. In my opinion, it was more entertaining than the 2 grand finals that happened before that, and the most entertaining thing I've seen since the 2024 Global Championship. I'm really curious to see how players will have to qualify for this LAN. There's no Reload FNCS, there's no Reload Grand Finals. What qualification process are they going to have to go to make it to the LAN? But the next thing Fortnite announced is a $1 million series. The only bad thing is that it's a mobile series. If you're unaware what a series is when it comes to tournaments, it's a string of tournaments that all qualify for one big thing. Think about the solo series that's going on right now. There's 100 players at the end in the grand finals lobby, but there's 7 weeks of qualifications where you have to be one of the 100 most consistent players throughout that 7 weeks. Now, we don't know what game mode this is yet. We don't know if it's even Battle Royale or how many players are going to be on your team, but I'm just a little bummed that it's only exclusive to mobile. Like how they used to run FNCSs with mobile and console playing in the same tournament. I wish this would be a console and mobile $1 million series, but I believe that it is just mobile because mobile Fortnite recently came back and they're trying to promote it. Like what they're doing with the Blitz game mode, where you can sit down on the bus, in the car, wherever you are. It's a 5-minute game. You can play it on your phone. It'll be over before you know it. But instead, it's a $1 million tournament. But next, this gets me really excited. We have Ranked 2.0. Ranked 2.0 is basically a ranked rework. We don't know how it's going to be reworked, but I hope it is in the style of Arena. Reisshub has a very, very good video that I suggest you guys should watch. The link will be in the description, talking about why Ranked is a bad game mode and a horrible follow-up to what was Arena. The biggest downfall to Ranked is you don't know how much elo you're gaining. You don't know how much you're getting for a kill. You don't know how much you're getting for top whatever you place. That's why Arena worked so well. There was a constant point tracker at the bottom of your screen and you would know how much points you're gaining for whatever you get. whether it be a kill, whether it's top 25, top 75, whatever it is, you would know how much you are gaining. That brings us to the other downfall of ranked. In Arena, even if you were already the highest league, Champions League, people would just keep playing and playing to get 100,000 arena points, 200,000 arena points, however many your heart desired, people would keep playing to show their friends. But with ranked, you don't know how much you're gaining, you don't know how close you are to the next threshold, you don't know anything. And that's the downfall of ranked. For competitive, once you reach platinum, you can play all the FNCSs for that season, all the tournaments for that season. You have no reason to keep grinding. But for Arena, you had that little number at the bottom of your screen showing how much hype you had, how many points you had. It felt rewarding to see your games pay off and see how much you can go up in a day. And with ranked, you don't have that. Once you get the champion, you can play a whole day and not even get to Unreal. And for the casuals, if it went back to the Arena format, if you had 15,000 Arena points, you go into Clix's stream, he only has 10,000, you feel good about yourself. But with Unreal and the ranked system, everyone's Unreal. You have no clue where you stack up against other people. And that's why I think ranked was a big letdown for not only the competitive players, but for the casual players. But that leads us to the Pro-Am returning. Like I said before, the Pro-Am was very entertaining. Whether this one be Battle Royale, Zero Build, Reload, I really don't care. It's just so much fun seeing the pros stack up against each other with a content creator on their team. I think it'll be cool if this Pro-Am is trios since we're in a year of duos again. Whether it be 2 content creators and 1 pro, 2 pros and 1 content creator, I do not care. I am just excited to watch that again. And lastly, that brings us to the LAN returning to Europe. The global championship at the end of the year is going back to the EU. Some people will hate this, but you guys have to trust my opinion. I went to the 2024 global championship in Dallas, Texas, but watching this year's globals in front of the French crowd, they're all cheering on the M8 players, they're all booing the Havoc players, they're cheering players they like, they're booing players they don't like. If somebody kills somebody on their org, they boo them out of the building. And being able to watch this from home and watch the EU crowds give the energy that these players need, whether they're booing them or cheering them, it's just great for the entire Fortnite scene. And it's not just Fortnite, whether it's wrestling, soccer, anything that goes on in Europe, Europe has some great crowds. Last year for globals in Dallas, there was not a single chant that got started, but this year there was not a chant that stopped. And I think that energy of the crowd behind the gameplay, behind the players at the global championship is what makes competitive Fortnite. But overall, those were some great announcements. Great job, Epic. Great job, Fortnite. Those were amazing. Not only does it have me making a video the night of the global championship, it has me looking forward to the entire next year. But before we get into the globals recap, if you guys enjoyed the announcement and you guys are excited for the year of 2026 for Fortnite competitively, make sure you guys subscribe. It instantly supports me, and if you want to go the extra mile, use code CODSFN in the Fortnite item shop whenever you are purchasing anything, whether that be a skin, an emote, the new FNCS pickaxe that's in the shop, V-Bucks, whatever it be. It instantly supports me, and thank you guys. But that leads us to the global championship, where of course I think you guys know Queasy, Murstache, and Swizzy ended up taking it home. Like I predicted, like other people predicted, Queasy finally won his first LAN tournament after coming second twice. With an 11th, he finally got his. In the first 6 games on day 1, Queasy and his trio ended up placing 4th, 1st, 2nd, and 5th, with an average placement of 2nd and average kills of 8. So after day 1, that put him on 520 points, and if that's what he ended on, he would have ended up in 5th cumulatively throughout both days. But other than that, we had Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts winning game 1, Vico, Vino, and Flixie winning game 4 while they were contested, and for Doxy, Pablo, Wingu, and Chino winning game 6 while contested. The summary of day 1 was just height. Like I said in my predictions video, Queasy's always on height, and for day 1, he was. Other storylines coming out of day 1 was Seti, Yapko, and Panzer being in 3rd. They were contested at Kappa Kappa Factory against Kazi, Tinka, and Aspect, but eventually the OCE team left, eventually letting them play out their games and end 3rd on the day. But I think the biggest storyline coming out of day 1 other than Queasy was Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. While everyone thought Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual were going to land Dystopia City for the medallion against Epic Whale's team and Razzle's team, he ended up not landing there. He landed at the train and would rotate in. But let's just say that strategy did not work at all. One game he even landed where he was going to land before Dystopia City at OXR. That didn't work either. he got wiped by Vanya, Marius, and Pixie. And going into day 2, they were in 24th place. Statistically, the best trio in the world played the first 6 games and only got 85 points, and that due to them getting an 11 kill 12th in their last game. Before that game, I think they were in 30th. But on day 2, they found a strategy that kinda worked, getting them 276 points on day 2 alone, ending them in 15th place overall. Even though Queasy, Murstache, and Swizzy had a bad day 2, they had such a good day 1 that nobody could catch them. They ended up winning globals on 697 points. While it does look like the leaderboard is quite close, actually watching it, it was not close at all. With Queasy's team and Vanya's team both making the endgame of game 12, Vanya's team would have to kill Queasy's team, take height, win the game with some extra kills just to overtake them. And with Vanya, Marius, and Pixie playing a very scuffed endgame, there was no chance that was going to happen. But for the overall leaderboard, we have Queasy, Murstache, and Swizzy obviously winning. Right behind them in second with Vanya, Marius, and Pixie. This team had a very consistent showing, and I think the only reason they didn't win is because they didn't win any of the games. While they had very good placements, they weren't really a height team, meaning they couldn't win the games to get them the extra points. And then behind them in third, we have Panzer, Seti, and Yapko. I really did not see them doing this good even if they were uncontested. They surprised a lot of people and I'm really happy for them. Then Seti's former duo right behind him in fourth, Cammy, Eyedrop, and Chari. This team was very under the radar. While they did win one game, they just had a bunch of consistent placements where they'd squeak into the top 5. I feel like they barely showed them on broadcast, but checking the leaderboard after every game, they just kept climbing and climbing with their sneaky playstyle, getting them into the top 5 every game. And then next, we have our highest performing NA team with Kanado, Rapid, and Bolts. After winning game 1 and having a really consistent day 1, they just weren't able to replicate it for day 2. Just like Cammy's team, they weren't really a height team, so they were squeaking into the top 5s before they died, but they never had enough wins to get them those extra points. Behind them, we had my dark horse, Pix, Darm, and Demas. With 6 being a great placement for them, it's all of their first LAN. They could have really done better. They could have top 3'd this easily. That being until Malibuco, Walks, and Ping keyed them for Surge every game. I don't know why Malibuca did this, it's just EU griefing EU, but it really sucks to see because they were top 3 going into the last couple games. Throughout the first 9 games, they were easily the most consistent team and even had a chance to win, but Malibuca, Ping, and Walks keyed them for the last 3 games for Surge and they ended up dying every time. But behind them in 7th, we have our only contested team in the top 10, Pablo Wingu, Chino, and Fredoxy. They ended up dying off spawn 6 out of the 12 games, but in the 6 games they didn't die off spawn, they ended up averaging 13 kills. The Crouch King himself, Fredoxy, was just taking mid-game fights. He doesn't like trading for Surge, he'd rather fight for a Surge. But even though he only got to play 6 games, he still got a 13 kill 7th, a 19 kill win, a 10 kill 11th, and a 17 kill 4th. This is probably the biggest what if of any global championship we've had so far. If Fredoxy wasn't contested, he most likely wins the tournament. He had 87 eliminations and only got to play 6 games. That's almost 30 more than the team with the second most eliminations, being Queasy, Murstache, and Swizzy with 60. But they got to play out all 12 of their games, getting the bunker and taking height. If Fredoxy got to play out all 12 games, I wouldn't be surprised if he even got 200 eliminations, which would be a LAN record. But behind them in 8th, we have Malibuca, Ping, and Walks. They played really poorly in day 1, but on day 2 they were able to bring it back, winning first game, and followed that up with a 3rd, 5th, and 6th place. Their downfall really started when they went and keyed Pix, Darm, and Demas. Not only did they grief Pix, Darm, and Demas, they griefed themselves, spending a lot of time in zone and not being able to replenish their materials or stay ahead of the rotations. But behind them in 9th, we have Chap, Rezon, and Mr. Savage. This easily shocked me the most. While they were unconned because Kyoto's team moved from contesting them to contesting Vino at Canyon Crossing, I still can't believe they came 9th. Before this chapter, Mr. Savage was fully retired pursuing content creation. But then to come back, find a good trio, qualify for grand finals, then qualify for LAN, then come 9th in the LAN, that's easily one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. To be so mentally disconnected from competitive to where you quit and then come back in top 10 a LAN, it's just crazy to me. And then behind them, wrapping up our top 10, we have Shadow, Sphinx, and Muzz. Shadow, Sphinx, and Muzz ended up ending day 1 in 23rd place. But they brought it back for day 2, getting 304 points and almost having the most points on day 2. Only lost to Malibuca, Ping, and Walks, and Vanya, Marius, and Pixie by not even 20 points. While they struggled with Surge in day 1, they figured something out for day 2 where they were able to consistently make top 10s, even winning a game. That's one of the best comebacks I've ever seen on an international stage. If you watched my streams of globals, I was saying after day 1 that that's what Pewterbot was going to do, and obviously he didn't, but Muzz did. But that wraps up our top 10 for globals. Other notable placements is Brazil with King, Fusion, and Phaser in 11th, but unfortunately though they were contested. If they were uncontested, I think they could have easily came top 5. King specifically has been looking really good as of late. Then in 16th here, we have Agers, Puyo, and Acorn struggling out of Demon's Debris. I really don't know what wrong for them. I think it was Surge struggles, but I don't know how you're struggling with Surge with an unconned POI and people all around you to trade with. I think they just played bad on the day. And then in 18th, we have Higgs, Clicks, and Idomzo. They ended day 1 in 8th place, but for day 2, Surge struggles eventually came in and they just died. It sucks that they couldn't get it done, but like I said in my predictions video, day 2, they just didn't want to trade, and that led them to falling down 10 slots on the leaderboard, ending in 18th. And our last notable thing from the Global Championship is Brazil team Striker, Tisco, and Kadu winning Game 11 of the Global Championship. That's the first time a team that's not from West, Central, East, or EU won a game on an international stage. It didn't happen in World Cup, solos, or duos, invitational, or any of the Global Championships other than right here in Game 11.
Kadu, Striker, and Tisco, they could take it all!
And this is what the international scene has needed all weekend long, but no! Cammy, Hardy, Cammy's not going to be able to make it through. It's only Tisco, Striker, and Kadu left to deal with Hardy. But Hardy will be forced to charge forward. He tries to head towards the high ground, but he just doesn't have the HP. Tisco just needs one more shot, and he finds it. That's going to be the first victory royale here this weekend for an international scene.
It was really cool to witness that history live. But yeah, globals and that announcement, it all has me hyped for next season with duos. I'm going to be giving you guys everything you need to know for duos when it comes to off spawn, mid game, end game, and upcoming videos. Make sure you guys are looking for that on my channel in the future. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Also, make sure you use CODSFN in the Fortnite item shop. It instantly supports me. But until next time, see you guys later.